Undefeated.
Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Undefeated podcast.
The only podcast with two undefeated fighters, fam.
Chatting it up. All right, bro.
There we go.
What's your turn of the tape, fam?
Gee, I'm 0-0, fam. Never fought, never lost. If I did, someone gets knocked out. It's not me. I ain't got no bomb machine. My soundboard's broken.
It probably took the gusto out of that announcement still.
It takes the yeah. Your soundboard's broken, bro. What's your turn of the tape, though? Talk to me.
2-0, perfect boxing record. You know, up there with the likes of Joe Calzaghe, Lennox Lewis, Mayweather, just guys like that. 50% knockout rate. That means half the men that enter the ring with me left on their backs. Bomb would go there.
Bomb would go there. It's a devastating thing, bro. It's like it's like them lot without Turkey Al Sheikh, bro. It doesn't. I don't know if this is their events, but I don't know.
That's funny.
Like,
the source is just different, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if the source is sourced in the same way. But
when I see a Queensbury or a Matchroom show now, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, it's decent. There's some boxing on. It doesn't have the glitz and the glamour of a real
show. Just taking away, changing, like, like when they done a sugar tax on the fizzy drinks.
Yeah,
and it's the drink, but it's different though.
The Ribena don't really Ribena like that.
The Ribena's raw. Like, when there gonna be a soft launch to this? Like, you just took all the sugar out immediately. Like, all right,
bro. It's like, you know what's bad, yeah. So I see the press conference yesterday for Junior Benn Eubank, right?
Yes,
and it's the guy who opens up speaking. He's from Ring Magazine. Rick Reno is his name, bruv. Do you know when someone's like, you're friends, but he's shady about it? He's still shady even though you're friends. Because he goes, listen, the Ring Magazine shows, he goes, when we went to the zone, they said, whoa, all of this on one night, they were in tears with how excited they were about this. And I said, wow, it really does highlight how much nonsense has been happening in boxing. And he goes,
yes.
And I'm not using this moment to take shots or say names, but hey, listen, I still want Frank Smith to show up to the fight. I know he's got tickets. I don't want those guys to start feeling weird about about what I'm saying right now. But it's clear that there's a level with the undercards and the quality of shows. I said, what? This guy is.
So no, you're swinging. You're swinging for me at the. You're swinging for me at the event at the presser.
Brother, Eddie Hearn was looking at him like, you know, so you're smiling, thinking, yeah, no, we're friends though, so it's cool, but that's mad though. That's what you're saying is crazy,
bro. I'm telling you, there's the switch and the swaying and the where we are now is different. And I'm even the sponsors. I heard when he read out all the sponsors, I was like, rah, this thing is heavily sponsored. This ain't just Riyadh. I'm seeing everyone, Saudi Air, this, that, and the other, this, that. Like, they went crazy, and I was thinking, okay, this is what's going to make this thing lucrative and it make sense. They've thrown a lot of money out there before, and now it's I don't know if it's the get the money back settings, but something else.
Yeah, the gear
is
change.
Playing out.
There's
a new gear change. They're getting to like phase 2 or something with where they're seeing this thing. My internet's playing up a little bit, so it'll go. Okay. It's like it's getting in and out, like in terms of like the quality, but. Yeah,
cool. If it gets bad, then we'll just But so like, this is Eubank Benn week. Do you know what I mean? Let's get into that now. For me, I was like, I look at the undercard as a whole, and I was like, the undercard has been largely kind of overlooked, considering how polarizing Eubank and Benn is. Like, from the egg antics. To be fair, even their first press conference, the undercard weren't even there. They weren't even. They might not have been invited. Like, it was a thing where it's like, it's so clear that Eubank Jr. and Benn, they can carry this one on their own. You know what I mean? So it was funny to me to see the undercard again this week and just kind of look at it and be like, this is actually a sick undercard.
Very it's mental. It's mental on the levels, because let's go through the undercard exactly. Like, who's going to be fighting first?
Brandon Glanton is going to be fighting Billam Smith. And remember, we spoke to Brandon on our Monday Night Smoke. He's
smoke.
Bro, he's smoky in person. He's still smoky in person. He might have went too far with some of the stuff he said. He said he's trying to give my man brain damage. And it's mad, and it's like he's got like
That's the Wilder comment still. That's the Wilder comment.
But you know how Michael Jordan's got this thing about him where it's like he'll create a reason as to why he hates you. It seems like Mike got a similar thing because he's like, yeah, nah, I was helping a Coley in camp sparring like for Billum Smith back in the day, and he goes, when I saw Billum Smith in person at the fight, I went to shake his hand, and he's walked past and didn't shake my hand, and he goes, from that day, I realized, nah, I got smoked for this guy, and I'm just like, that's a lot. That's a very mad thing to just hold for all these years. You know what I'm saying?
Like on a handshake, and that fight was time ago, but he's holding the same energy. You know what? I respect Vim.
I respect that energy.
Vim. You know, he said, like, it's a bit mad. I don't respect people that talk about trying to like make man mentally impaired and stuff like that. I think that's getting too far, and you don't make a fan of me. I'm here for smoky talk, but when you start to do that, a little part of me wants to see you get chinned, if I'm being real. Like,
I hear it.
When you start to move like that, I'm like, you're a chief, man. Hold that. Like,
it's
anyone, like, even that's, it's like when you talked about when Dubois did it about, like, he started talking about the eye and the other, then he couldn't see that night. Poetic justice. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like, guys, like, there is and that's me saying this, there is some level of line in this sport. You can't be talking about man not being able to, brain damage is too real. So But it's like when Wilder said he wants to get a body, and his body ain't been in shape since. You know, like, he ain't been. That's the craziest part. You know, like, he said he wants to get all these things, and all I've seen is him be embarrassed.
Just mash up.
All I've seen is him be embarrassed. So like, it's a good fight. I liked how he was. I'm gonna be open-minded, but it's not now. I've got a sense of hearing that, not really caring who wins this one. But it would be good for like Glanton to win purely on the basis I just want to see another face that's going to shake things up. I know what Billum Smith is. I know exactly what to expect from him. You know what I mean?
It's going to be an interesting fight because it's like the highlights I've seen of Brandon. He's on smoke. Like, he's a come forward guy. He throws. He really comes to fight. But it's like, so does Billum. And I think it's one of the ones where sometimes we underestimate what Billum is capable of, because he's always in there to the end when it comes to the madness. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think this guy should be ready for a full night. You know what I'm saying? That's really how I kind of look at that one. And Billum Smith is a likable guy as well.
Yeah, let me stop you here though, because people need to understand, you have to get your tickets to our live event right now. It's not, there is watch party. It's the Join On Worship Shoreditch. Get your tickets. We are going to be there. Our watch parties always go off. So make sure you're present. You don't want to be in the room when you're seeing a mad knockout. And it's like, who can you talk to? You're going to have moments. This happens. This happens, bro. I'm telling you, like, again, if you expression it and just the vibes and what's going on right now, that's going to happen in the room. Buy your tickets right now. We'll see you there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Simple as that. We'll see you there. Let's keep going.
Yeah, calm. So the next fight on the thing was Chef Clark Vidal Riley. Now, this fight here, it's one of the ones. Yeah, it's a weird one because it's gone under the radar for me, even though like the whole undercard was kind of a low key thing. But this fight, particularly, I've overlooked it because obviously, you know what I mean, there's other names on the thing where I kind of would be like, okay, I'm drawn to those a bit more. But this one's about to be a madness.
This is the one, a solid 50-50. You're talking about two guys, one that's a warrior and a very slick boxer, but we don't know his level really. But then he's spoken about in such high regard. Riley, you hear everything, and we're gonna see if he's the real deal. We're gonna see. I thought was gonna learn a lot about him if he fought Isaac Chamberlain. I believe this is a bit of a tougher test, personally. No disrespect to Isaac. I feel like it's a tougher test. I will, because you talk about activity, and one thing for sure is Chef is gonna Chef's staying outside. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, because due to injuries, this, that, and the other, it's just not gone Chamberlain's way. He had a nice run, but it slowed down as of recent. This fight here is two guys very game. Chef is game. You know what I mean?
And he's a banger as well. Like, he's not going to be one of them guys that's going to try and be playing chess. Like, he knows he's got power. He don't play about with it. So that's going to be, it's going to be a big test. If Vidal Riley gets through this one, then I think it's a statement that he's kind of needed, because realistically, it's like, you can tell he's taken a while for him to box out of the shadows of being the online guy. Every time these guys speak about him, they still mention he's got great numbers online. He doesn't need to really do this, but it's like, he's always talked about, I wanted to do it the hard way. But I think it's taken a while for people to really notice him. Because remember, for a while, Boxer didn't even really know how to promote him. They had him out presenting on the mic, interviewing fighters. I'm like, what are you doing here?
When he's a total fighter, when he was a full total, So it felt like he was on the punditry route.
Yeah, and now like he was trying to just be an influencer. Like, they weren't really taking the boxing serious, but he really can box. But I think it'd be interesting to see what his power looks like. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think, like Base was saying on the show, like he's got power that says, oh, stay off me, like, respect me, you can't walk me down type thing. But I think when you're mixing with guys who can bang, especially if Chev Clark can take a shot, like, if you need the type of power that to keep him off, where it's just like, nah, bro, you got to hit harder than that, it's going to be a tricky night still. So I'm curious to see how this one's going to play out. But it's a potential for a big statement win for both of these guys.
50-50. It's a 50-50 fight.
I'd probably say 55 Chev, just because he fought at a higher level so far. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Do you know what's crazy though? I feel like Vidal will get better publicity if he wins, though. Like the roadmap for him could be a bit more interesting. I don't know. Chef's one of those guys that I don't know if it's his characteristics, but he doesn't make a lot of noise. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
He doesn't make a lot of noise, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, and I don't know if that's just the other stuff that's around the fighter to make him more interesting. But he's like, again, he's hard work.
It's the temperament. He's got like a very chilled kind of demeanor. Like, he came out same time, same Olympics as Ben Whittaker. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, he didn't really get as much coverage. But I think obviously when you don't place, I don't think he placed. Let me just double check that, just so I'm not Olympics. Just want to make sure, just in case, because if he did, boy, that's a madness. What did he get? Yeah, he reached the last 16. So yeah, he didn't. He didn't place. So when you don't get a medal, the rollout is different afterwards. Do you know what I'm saying? So where he's come out, and then he's come out quietly, quite reserved anyway. So it's like, even still, it's like he needs these big nights to really have the moment. But then even saying that, the cruiserweight division is still quiet. It's a quiet one anyway. So there's a lot of things working against him as far as building a name.
Yeah, well, we'll see again. And I think it's one of those things where I would avoid him as well. Like, I wouldn't want to fight him. It's one of those fights that's like, how much am I going to get from this? Like, lucky he's on a great card that it's going to catching the world's eye. So anything else going on at this main event, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to check in on that fight. I'm going to stay locked in. So the casuals, these guys are giving the casuals a chance to see them.
That's right.
They have to put on a big performance. It has to be a big performance. So
fully agree with that. Moving on. So who else we got here? Liam Smith and Aaron McKenna. Now this one's interesting because obviously you got Liam Smith, and then you got the young Aaron McKenna who's on the rise. Aaron McKenna hasn't lost before. He's young, and it's like, he's at a stage of his career where it's like, if I can look for this good name to get the win over, that's a certified, it's a certified name on the resume. But I think it's very possible that they might have miscalculated slightly on this one, because Liam Smith against Eubank Jr. was a big surprise the first time round when he knocked him out.
Yeah.
Then the second time round, he comes in, and whilst it was a good showing from Eubank, Liam Smith wasn't 100% the same Liam Smith from the last fight.
It felt like Father Time pulled up, though. It felt like Father Time pulled up on Liam Smith, though. So we have to understand because his and they say his movement's always been like that, but then it looked even worse. It looked more noticeable. Maybe he's been moving like that this whole time, but you couldn't avoid it, and there was just a level of he didn't look comfortable in there. Now I don't know if McKenna's going to bring that out of him. That's going to force him to look like that. That's the big question. But I don't know, man. I'm off with Smith. I believe he can win this fight, but these men are just again collecting checks for retirement at the end at this point in time. That's how I see it.
Okay,
That's how I see it. I see we're in that stage. So this is a fight for me that not saying I'm not truly invested in, but it's more about how good can McKenna look in terms of what you're doing, because maybe Smith's now on the door on some kind of like, you can't just walk in here and enjoy yourself. You got to see me and then enjoy your night, lads. You know what I mean? Like it's one of the, yeah. I think it could be gatekeeper settings, but again, it's a great test for him.
It's a funny one still, because McKenna goes to him. He goes, listen, mate, when we get out there, he goes, I'm not taking a backward step. So he's definitely coming to get this man out of here. So it'll be interesting to see what Liam Smith's got left. Because I reckon if he loses, then we're at the stage in the career where we're calling it a day. So interesting.
And it's, when we say calling it a day, it's going to be them. There's these calling it a day type fights where it's like you're just there to fill the cards, really. Like you become one of those guys. So like you're still making some money here and there, but it's not, the expectation on you is different from all of us, and we all understand that.
It's what I mean? Man.
So I think there's these active retirements is what I want to call it.
That's a bar.
Yeah, I mean,
active retirement. It's so true.
yeah. Active retirements. It's like
it's like he still comes out, but it's like he's got no ambitions to further his.
Yeah. I'm not fighting for a title.
You know what it is? Kell Brook's at active retirement.
Yeah.
He still shows up.
Unfortunately, this might be like really rude because we're getting close to the main event, but certain times when I look at Junior, it's not far from saying that, bro.
Crazy.
When I look at Junior, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I look at Junior, I look at it. It just feels like. Go ahead.
No, you know what's bad? Consider we're going into one of the biggest nights in British boxing in recent years, and we have a semi-retired fighter.
Well, it means nothing. It means nothing really in terms of let's. Is it gonna boost rankings on either fighter?
Well, you know what's mad is that it does actually propel Eubank to a shot at Canelo. Remember, Turkey said that the winner could potentially fight Canelo.
How when Crawford's putting on mad weight, he ain't fighting Canelo.
Not next year. So
I have to sit I can't sit on ice. I can't sit down for that long. Oh yeah, there's a 2-fight deal. Sorry, there's a 2-fight deal. So
yeah, that's right.
Maybe.
But you shouldn't sit on ice. But knowing Eubank, he's happy to chill on ice and prepare for Canelo. That guy there. Oh my days. But yeah, that has definitely been a talking point from Turkey, saying that he could get that. But again, if you look at how Junior does approach his career, there's bare inactivity there. So it's like, it's one of the ones where it's like, you see how Kell Brook just floats around. Whereas, like, and even now he's been saying, I'll fight the winner. I'm like, bro, you clearly have no. Kell Brook said he'll fight the winner. So you see what I'm saying? No aspirations.
See what I'm saying?
But he's just like, oh yeah, I fancy a bit of that.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then it's not even. It's man them that have like, well, it's money in it, and I respect it. Their prize fighters get that money, but this has not got any title. There's no talks of title. You know what I mean? There's no. Them kind of conversations are not there, and make your money. Like I can't begrudge Eubank for making his money, but then what are we aiming towards? What are we going for? Like even Conor, he's gonna do this fight, then he's gonna go back down in weight. Am I right in saying that?
That's what. And then saying.
we're gonna see how he campaigns and how he looks. Like, this is good for profile. This is a profile fight. Like, win this fight, everyone's talking about it. And right now, it has captured the imagination of the casuals. Heavy. You know what I mean? That's why everyone wants to be here. Everyone's getting to watch this fight. Everyone's talking about it. It's really cut through it. It feels like I'm having AJ type phone calls where people are like, hey, where you watching the fight? And I ain't had that for a while, where people are like that inquisitiveness about, hey, what's going on? And who do you see winning?
That's right.
These are the conversations. Right. So it's great on that basis. But then, as you said, you always wanted to see Eubank win a world title. and I don't think we're any after this fight. Whatever happens, I don't think we're any closer.
No, we're not necessarily closer, but it in terms of star building, this is one of those nights that does that for the winner. Well, to be fair, for both of these men, to be honest, like being involved in a night like this is the stuff that makes your careers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For this to be the biggest night of Junior's career at 35, it's a little bit unfortunate because had this happened 2 years ago, he would have had 2 years on top of that, guaranteed whatever level that Junior fights at.
Right.
Do you know, whereas now we can't guarantee he's got 2 years fighting like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's gonna really have to really
He
get busy.
he looks after himself a little bit though, in terms of I know he's not clean in terms of living clean, there's drinking, there's this, that, and the other, and obviously late night poker and that. But as in terms of staying in shape, he's one of those fighters that you can give him a few extra points that might help him in terms of career longevity. Because he's not someone that balloons up in weight and stuff like that. So hopefully there's that. Hopefully he's still got like 2-3 years left in the tank at a top level. And then but then we're talking. What's crazy is me and you are doing this thing, and I don't know if you've joined me on the hype train of I want to see him win. I want to see Eubank Jr. win.
See, I've been
where you
honestly, I'm literally knife edge 50-50. Every time I see like content focused on either one of these guys, I go the other way. I watched the thing on Benn this week. Wow, we fully skipped over Lyndon, Arthur, and Yard on the undercard.
Let's take it. Should we? No, let's respect Lyndon. And,
let's do that before.
Let's respect Lyndon. All right, cool.
So it's an interesting one. Obviously, Yard and that they did their media workout, and the pads. The pads is probably it's probably my least favorite pad showing between Tunde and Yard on this week.
What are you doing? I haven't seen.
There was one bit where Tunde's got the pads and he holds it on his back, and the Yard is almost like, "What?" But he hits anyway. But it's just that awkward moment of just like, what was that?
No, because you're invested. You want everything to look. You want everything to look clean and amazing. It's like, what's going on? But they're a playful bunch. They're a playful bunch.
That's the thing that people. Bunch. If you watch them for the first time on that, you miss that them man are always on banter. So I mean, Tunde and them man, they're not going to be at this point trying to go crazy for the public workout.
Never.
This is a night where it's about Eubank Jr. and Benn. So
you think I'm getting crazy for you?
They're just on nonsense. But it's funny hearing them talk here. So Lyndon Arthur's very much like not really a big talker anyway. But then Yard is like, I still get mad when I think about the fact that I lost to this guy in that first fight. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that man called this a trilogy. He's like, obviously the first fight, I lost 4 relatives, one of them being my dad. He goes, I tried to take I'm a fighter, I'm a professional, so I should just fight and have a distraction. He goes, but realistically, I wasn't in a place to fight. So when the second fight come around, you lot saw what that looked like. This time round, I want to close the conversation and not really leave space for this. And even I was listening to Sonny Edwards talk because he was on the broadcast thing, and he was just like, this time round, going into the fight, they're going to try and really, box clever, keep on the outside, and da-da-da-da-da. I'm looking at it as I'm thinking, Yard should knock him out. There should be no messing around with this. I think we've seen what Lyndon is, and I wouldn't put any stock into the Bivol, going the distance with Bivol. I think we also understand that Bivol is very much okay, cool. If you want to fight at 6, 7, 70, like 70%, I'll fight at 70% with you. I'm gonna win.
You'll match. Yeah. He'll match whatever my man's on. He'll match because that same Bivol fought Bataviev, and that was mad different.
Exactly. So I look at that and I think to myself, I wouldn't put too much stock into the fact you went the distance with Bivol. I reckon the fight should start the same way. Yard should come out, attack, and go and close the door. Like, go to the body. The guy can't take body shots. He's admitted it to you before the second fight. You went out there, you stopped him on body shots. This should be a smooth, nice boxing.
That's a shame admitting something. Do you know what? That doesn't make sense. When they tell the truth, and we could fight again. Like, that's mad. You heard Frank was trying to get you lot to fight again that night. Yeah. That same night, Frank was trying to get it on. What are you talking about? You're gonna see him again. Like always, he's the face. Well, he was the face. I don't know who's the face now, but he's definitely someone that you must understand. Boxing is in his favor. It's someone that people want to see in big major nights.
That's right.
Why would you reveal that? And now you're finding him now. He's going to the body, and it'll be on you lot, because what an admission. You know what I mean? It's not like you lot become friends and we're never fighting again.
Exactly.
It's not like you're on Derek Chisora, AJ Energy, where it's like, man. No, like, but listen, it's on him. I don't see the jeopardy. I don't see the jeopardy in this one, especially with how Yard sounds in regards to, look.
Yard should treat this as Yard should treat this as an absolute showcase opportunity. This is one of those nights where you get to just go out there and look good. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go out, like, you see what Ben Whittaker Cameron was supposed to be the first time round? It was supposed to have been the let's show how sick I am. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way the first time. Second time, he definitely did more. He over delivered.
We'll get to Ben Whittaker in the final piece of this thing. But yeah, absolutely. But I think it's now time for that pivot that we've been waiting for. Eubank Jr., Conor, Benn. You haven't decided who you want to win. So what, you're going to tell us on the night?
Nah, do you know what? I think I'll know after the first round, as stupid as that sounds. But honestly, like, when I see Eubank Conor training, the explosiveness, bro. Like, he's so fast and explosive. Like, even Denzel Bentley coming out and saying how, you know, he's right there. Do you know what I mean? Like, you throw a jab or whatnot, he's straight to the body. And I'm like, if Conor Benn is becoming an explosive body puncher, like, you see the whole thing about not being a concussive puncher, that changes the convo. Because when you're going to the body, they all add up. Whereas a shot knocks you out or it doesn't. It doesn't. Shots don't eventually, like, they accumulate and stuff like that, but you're still not going to be concussive. Like, we've seen Eubank Jr. take man the distance, wailing at them, and they're still there, but they're hurting. It's not going to start knocking you out. But you see those body shots, you could, once you hit your limit, you're taking a knee.
They tell the truth. They tell the truth of what kind of life you lived in boxing. You know, when, like, they really expose. So you could be in the greatest shape aesthetically. Yeah. But I see them body shots, bro. And that humility of sitting down, crunched over, because you just can't react to that shot. And especially with the rehydration clause and all this other stuff, you know, talking about weight and what it means, this, that, and the other. It is a factor in terms of if he's invested in the body early. We've seen it with Caballero, I think one of the best body punchers right now in terms of level, volume to the body is crazy. I ain't seen anything like that in recent years. That's someone that's making sure. Maybe Crawford has got them. Well, Crawford will invest as well. He's someone to do that. But this fight here, we've seen a lot more, and I wanted to talk about it because you remember we said that Eubank Senior was going to stay away type thing. He's not happy with it. It's a disgrace. Yeah, his rollout has been nasty work. You know, bro. He's been on TalkSport. He's been everywhere but there.
This guy,
I think that's crazy.
He did a thing on the Sun Sport boxing channel. Yes, I didn't even with George Groves. With George Groves. The one. And I was listening to it. And you know what I got to say? And Harlem Eubank was there. And I got to say, shouts out to George Groves because he kept it 100 in that conversation. 100. There's a point where he goes, you know, but what about the rules? And he's like, well, what rules? What rules are being broken here? And he said, did you not hear? Conor said he's a 147 fighter. He's gone up to 160. And he's like, people have changed weight classes before. I don't understand what you're saying here. Like, he goes, but it's written. He goes, what does it say? What does it say? Like, I'm glad that somebody pushed back finally because he keeps saying that, what about the rules? I'm like, bro, people go up in weight for fights, fam.
Yeah. What about Crawford?
You're not making, exactly, bro. You're not making sense in regards to your outright concern. Yeah? Like, even when George is saying, he's like, bro, he's been at 160 for years. Yeah. And cool, the rehydration is 10 pounds, but that's the morning. And after that, he can do what he wants. Like, he's done this before. Like, if you fight for a IBF or whatnot, it's the same thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you're looking at Senior and it's just like, well, Senior's angle is he's coming up from too high to come down to 160. But it's also one of the ones where you say, well, this is the weight he campaigns at. Like, I don't think Senior realizes the difference between like you being irritated by the things that are happening in your son's life and illegal things happening in your son's life.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm trying to say? You don't like that he
it's a
campaigns
play.
at 160 when he probably should be 168 in your eyes. But if we look at his
Yeah.
168 years, I don't think they were the best years of his career in terms of physicality wise. I don't think he was ever a comfortable 168 man. Personally, just by the go on.
But then I think that's not even an issue. I think the play is disgusting. Pulling up with Harlem, yeah, to the sun, to that, absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Because now you're not stepping across as how I feel you might want to look like at this thing. You're looking, at times you just look like a promoter that wants your fighter in there. Yeah. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Oh, I hear you wearing loads of different caps of this is my, this is my nephew. I have to do this on the sense of family and this, that, and the other. But no, this is the same guy that you tried to get him to usurp and take the fight from Eubank.
That's right.
This you got him out every single time, and Harlem is so unfortunate because actually I rate Harlem. I think he's a cool guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I rate him. But I know him as well. Like really blessed guy, bro.
Really but he's almost a victim of the situation because it makes this person's beating the drum of my name. I need that. But at the same time, people are turning off Eubank Senior because of this. They're like, bro, support your son, fam. Or even if you're not going to support him, be quiet. Just go somewhere else. But you're everywhere.
Yeah.
In promo land, but you're not at the fight. You're everywhere but where you need to be. So you're so present, but you can't come and support me. That makes no sense. And when you hear at the presser and Eubanks Jr. talks about pain and says, look, my brother is buried. And it's funny because at first Conor was ready to go, but then Conor realized, this is a real moment. He's like, shut up. He said, I've learned pain. Shut up. There you go.
It's the way he did it as well. He did it so flipping. When someone's just feeling in a proper Eubank way, because he goes, yeah, I'm in pain right now. He goes, shut up. He goes, but what is pain? Pain. And you start listening to that thinking, shut up. But then when he moves on to his point, you think, flipping, that's deep.
That's pain. Because you said my brother's buried in a desert in Dubai. That's crazy already in the desert in Dubai. His son always asks about where his dad is. Yeah. And my dad, who was my hero,
doesn't talk to me.
Caused me disgrace. What do you want to say? What more do we have to talk about?
When I heard that speech, that's when I went from Benn to Eubank for the fight. On the basis of that mental space that Junior's in. I think we cannot underestimate it. We can talk about age. We can talk about the fact that he fights a little bit differently from old days. But you see that part where it's like the will of a man that has everything to prove. You look at the Nigel Benn team; it's a full camp family.
It's a family.
They go back
Very
years
painful.
with each other, from the trainer to the strength and conditioning. Nigel Benn, deep roots all around. Ben Eubank, he's with Jonathan Banks. He's been together since the last fight, I believe. That's it. And then Ronnie Davis, obviously, is probably the oldest root. There's no family there. And it's sad as well on another level because Seb was always in his camps.
Always.
You see what I'm saying? Or close by if he wasn't fully there.
Close enough to feel that you can, you're not on your own.
That's right. The ringside thing. He's there ringside at least. So then couple that with the fact that Senior's now making his business to campaign against him every chance he gets. He's by himself. And the part that people also sleep on? Frank Smith is obviously Eddie Hearn's matchroom guy's right-hand man.
Yeah.
I think he's engaged to his sister, Emily Eubank. So when he brings Eddie Hearn leaves the table and brings him on, and he's like, no one knows who you are. And they're having it back and forth. I'm like, brother, that's your brother-in-law. You know my man well, bro. He's at the functions, the family functions, fam.
Like it's a disjointed family. That's what it sounds like.
It's all over.
It's disjointed. There you go. Like it's so mad because there is a dislike for obviously Eddie Hearn and Team Eddie Hearn and everything Matchroom.
Yeah.
But we can't avoid them. They're with us. They've been with us for years. From my
Yep.
father
Yep.
to now my sister. And there's no leader in the family there's no like we're singing from this. We're all on code. No one's on code.
No one's
on code. That's crazy. So that's why, bro, this is why I need him to win off the basis of you ruffled all the feathers. If he's laying down, Eddie Hearn celebrating, Frank Warren celebrating, and Eubank Senior is somewhere saying "I told you so," doing the thingy. I can't have that for somebody. There's no way.
It's too much, you know.
There's no way. There's no way.
Because at least
I'll rather him smoldering.
Because you know what it is? We know that Ben has support to come back from a defeat.
He's got all the support in the world.
Junior doesn't. And it's going to be far worse. I think it'll be so worse. There'll be intervention publicly. When Senior's out here chatting madness, I reckon it'll be Simon Jordan that says, stop this now. Stop this.
He tried. Simon Jordan, this is the funny thing. Simon Jordan said, I don't understand your angle towards your son. Your son sent you a letter saying, I don't want you as the main guy anymore.
Yeah.
And that was the day that ruined everything for you. And that was the day that, you talk about him, he never would have lost to Smith had he not sent that letter, or he never would have done this, or he never would have done that. This man, that's another bullet in the gun for he never would have lost to Conor if I was there.
That's right.
So there's all these times, and he goes that I think because obviously calls him disgrace and says, look, he needs to listen to me. Then what's so funny is he revealed a bit about himself, which we've always known. Ronnie, when he talks about his coach, he said, Ronnie did the best thing. He left me alone. Ronnie was just there. I let him be the name trainer, but I was alone. I did what I need to do. Ronnie sung songs every now and then, this, that, and that, but I was doing what I need to do for myself. So in a sense, what I'm hearing him say is, I am the trainer. I'm the trainer, and I want to be my son's trainer. And yes, we're going to have different people, but it's me. It's all my DNA. It's all me in this moment. And that's why you need to understand it. And his son's like, well, if I look up to you as my role model, this part of the story is right. Leave me alone.
That's right.
I basically followed you to the end, and now it's my leave me alone part. What are you talking about?
Thank you. And this is the problem. Senior doesn't see himself in Junior at all, bro. It's the most cognitive dissonance I've ever seen in my life. He does not see himself in this man it's comical now. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because no matter how much evidence you give him, it's blocked. He cannot see that I'm not important. I'm not the number one factor in your story. And as much as people hate to hear it, but this is a sick display of parenting, bro. Like, it's very toxic. Because the fact that your son wants room to breathe and be his own man offends you to this degree, to the point where you want to ruin the party. I have a big problem with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, when he talks about how, Ronnie Davis left me alone. Bro, Ronnie Davis says straight up about Junior, it's just like his father. Just like his father. No matter how much evidence he needs to see that he's exactly the same as him, he don't see it. You know why? Because Eubank has somehow convinced himself that he's the standard bearer of boxing. And I look at this, I think to myself, all right, mate, the standard bearer. What are we talking about? The same things you're upset that Junior's doing. You did all these things, from weight crashes to weight cuts to going up in weights you ain't got no business being at. You did it all, and somehow you're the standard bearer, bro. Like, it's a shame. It's a shame.
You're driving on London roads in a bloody monster truck, fam. Like, you're the need for attention and the need for, like, you're doing too much. Everything you've done too much this whole time. You know what I mean? And again, it's like, in the eyes of being proper, but then it's not proper. This is not proper, man. And I really hope, I've given up on them fixing it. Really.
Yeah.
I've given up on him fixing it. When he said, and he speaks past tense, he used to be my role. Like, I used to look up to this man. I don't think he feels that way about this man in this last piece, especially looking over at the table and just seeing Nigel. that must hurt. That's the part that hurts, because he said the things that are pain is like, my dad are not cool no more. So remember that moment when Conor hit him with the, I hope you and your dad get back together. And he said, I don't like this. I don't like this. And then that was the most honest Eubank was at the table when he was on the Piers interview. Because it's something in him that he's feeling that was brought out in that moment. And he said, just talk to me as a fighter. Don't get there, because these are unresolved feelings for me that I'm not ready. Like I'm cut up about this. I am cut up because, again, people are not here. Both of them are grieving. Both of them. That's what's crazy. Both of them are grieving, and in different ways. So with the Yard thing, Yard fought, and obviously he lost, but then he went and fought. He thought it's the best thing to do. How much can he do for Seb's son without just put food on it, like money? All I can do is keep fighting and try to forget about it, because the routine and the over and over again in this suits me. Going into training camp and not having to worry about all this other stuff that's going on is better for my mindset.
And I think people underestimate the effect of death that it has on people. Do you know what I mean? In life in general. Like seeing Eubank when he talks about, I never used to want to have kids. And now I'm thinking, this is probably something I should consider, like especially being around Raheem all the time. And there's a little clip of Raheem there at camp with him, and he's telling him, go, go, go. And he starts going hard on the bag.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at that, I'm thinking to myself, I think what's happened here is the real shift of purpose in terms of just the wider scope. Because remember, like in that interview with, I think it was either Stephen Bartlett or Gary Neville, one of those two interviews that Junior did. And he started talking about how it's like, I regret not seeing Seb again that last time, because he was in Dubai same time, and he's like, I'll see him next time, and that would have been the last time he would have seen him. And he goes that my approach to life was very much like, I'm just gonna do the things that you want to do. So then the Conor fight gets announced, so we can already see an initial shift of how he's approaching things.
Another thing that's happened that I didn't even realize. Remember, both of them have lost brothers and didn't go see them when they was meant to go see them. He said Eubank Senior said his brother was in hospital. His brother was in hospital, and he just couldn't go in there and go check him.
I mean, it's slightly different. But
but they both have a, I should have gone. I should have done this. I should have just stopped off and gone to check my brother just to see him, because we don't know how short life is. Even though obviously their journeys are different, they both have that regret of not walking in and spending. There's stuff that they could actually say to each other, but they're not saying it. One person was up for it. The other person can't see him at all. So he don't understand. It's like the loss of my brother. I lost my, you know what I mean? Like, I lost my brother and son.
Yeah.
Like he's lost a lot, but it doesn't outweigh.
Yeah.
It's the loss of what he's getting through. Doesn't outweigh it. It doesn't outweigh it at all. So it's, bro, this story, like,
it's mad. But then even on the other side, of the equation, we've got Conor Benn, and if you look at how much redemption is on the line for him, it's huge, bro. Like, when you really see what he's up against, like this, how messed up his name was in the public.
Yeah.
Like, now it's a case of, if he loses, bro, it's just a drug cheat, and da-da-da-da-da. What do you reckon?
He'll get the love back. He'll get the love back. You'll get it. We're crazy in the UK.
Oh, you mean because of the valiant effort? If he puts
valiant effort. We know nothing's in the system, and he lost. There's that thing of wanting to humble someone. Like, let's say Ben Whitaker lost, but he was gracious in defeat, lifted Cameron's hand, immediately legend. I like him now. Do you know what I'm saying? Because guess what? The stallion has been tamed. That stallion has been tamed, and there's something about taming confident energy that people want to see sometimes. And it especially, I have to say, in this country especially, there is that thing there. Like, Ben has to be comfortable with not being liked in this one again. He has to say, look, while you're not really gonna, you're the bad guy now. People want to see you lose. Sit with that. You have to make your you have to be comfortable about your family that love you and truly have your back and understand everything else is wishy-washy. Boxing fans, wishy-washy. Everything, the industry is wishy-washy. He realizes who his friends were when he went through this moment anyway. Are you with me? Like everyone's revealed themselves. Cool. This is the game. You love me. That's all right. I'm gonna move with that, because if he's still trying to be liked, you're gonna be it's never gonna work. You're never gonna be in position.
Times like these, I think him and AJ would have a good convo in terms of that respectability, politics, and being liked and all that type of stuff. Because AJ found out hard what this thing is like when the game, you know what I mean, when the tide turns.
But he did it. But the only thing with AJ is AJ kind of was surprised and didn't really. His one was almost mistakenly, but then Conor's one was how they managed that whole situation was a shame, and that's why people are not on his side. Remember, like if you talk about the legacy of this fight, Nigel Benn was the man of the people. Nigel Benn was, you look at him and say you could see yourself in him, because it's like, like he's one of us.
Normal guy.
You got normal guy, you got the other guy that's moving like a Monopoly man or something. Like he's got the like he's just doing way too much. So you're gonna go with the everyday man situation. Now it's totally flipped. We're getting with the guy with the high Gucci. We've got the guy with the high collars and the mad LV designs. Which is not really, that's really showy. It's not really the British culture to embrace that.
You know what it is? This is a case of, I just dislike this guy more than I dislike you. Because I saw Eubank Jr. do this, what did he do? He got this jacket. It's a blood jacket of some kind. Because it's a mad design. I can't remember. It's like blood design or something like that. Basically, there's a piece of the jacket that has the canvas from the night when he beat Liam Smith in the rematch. And there's blood on it. And he's saying that some of Liam Smith's blood is in this jacket. Brother, I saw the comments and people were just like, what a sicko. Why wouldn't he do that after the first one with his own blood? But it's just how quickly the tides can turn. But the good thing about it is that Eubank Jr. knows this more than anyone. He doesn't care. Like, he lets it be known. Coming out and receiving the cheers and all the love, he goes, this is new. It's all new to me. He goes, but you could tell he's someone that's not affected by it. Good or bad.
No.
He's very much like, thank you.
I'm going to make the show about me. I'm going to make the show about me. I know you lot don't like me, but it kind of fits my narrative.
It fits this time round. Next time round, I'll be back to being a bad guy again. No problem.
I don't know. The adulation is, bro, acceptance is something that we all crave as people. Like, we want to be a part of communities, want to be loved. It's normal. It's a human nature. You can turn it off because it's not gone your way. And I can kind of understand now, looking at everything that's going on in his life, I can see this is not the first time he's seen this or rejection or whatever. Like, this has to be traits that have been going on for years. So you kind of said to yourself, well, I don't need anyone. It's as a survival mechanism.
I think once you get to a certain age in life and you're on your journey as a man, you kind of know whether or not you're one of them likable dudes or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, your default setting, am I the most likable person in the world? Yes or no? You know that about yourself. So it's either up to you to, it's either from there you're going to be like, let me work to be more likable and potentially step into kind of a people pleaser approach to how to navigate. Or you kind of just get the other way and just go, well, I'm going to take or leave. You know what I mean? If you like me, stay. If you don't, no problem.
Then, but that's okay. But it changes when you bring me that adulation and you take it away. It's like all these footballers and stuff that miss being chanted for, miss being everyone cares about me, and then you don't care anymore. So now we're talking about he's going to go into this fight and everyone's on his side. People, you see in the comments, anytime they're like, you know what, I'm backing this guy more and more now. Like, there's a lot of people that are having this sharing the take of me because they're just not liking what they're seeing at the moment.
And you know what it is as well?
Life situation.
Yeah, and not just that, but people do relate to family dramas of that type.
Because we all have them.
And also, it's like you feel sorry for someone who's going through that on like publicly. Like your dad said that. Like some people have gone through life knowing their dad feels like that, or their dad said that to someone else and they managed to hear. But to have it broadcasted on the biggest night of your career, nasty
Listen,
work, bro.
people, you know what to do, man. Conor, like, don't get me wrong.
Last thing, bro. Yeah, what do you make of Eubank? Not Eubank, Nigel Benn, saying that Conor Benn was mashing up Denzel Bentley and mashing up William Skull in sparring?
He has to say that. People are trying to. They have to say that. Like, we're looking at, when the scholars and stuff, people look at the tapes and stuff. He's not experienced. Conor's not experienced. You have to try and strike fear into us and say something. And this is a good move because at least it can keep Eubank guessing to say, well, he might be stepping into a prime. He might be dangerous. He might be. It's good to keep the fighter second guessing himself. So it's twofold because Denzel is a problem. Denzel is someone that, like, had he with the right push, you could see in there with Eubank.
He could. I reckon Eubank. He could absolutely win a fight against Eubank. There's no doubt in my mind that Denzel Bentley could win.
You could see him in there with a Eubank, but then they're not. Is that financially viable at the moment? No. But then Eubank's aware of what Denzel is, though. So saying, hey, this man put the pause on Denzel is crazy. But don't be surprised if when this fight is over and if Conor doesn't win, Denzel goes to get it back in blood and says, yo, what do you say? What do you say happened? That didn't happen.
No, he said that. He said he was sparring with William Skull, and he goes, they were supposed to spar for 10 rounds. They got to 8, and Skull was like, nah, that's enough. And then Nigel Benn's like, what? What's he said? He doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. And I'm like, listen, man, when I see the clips of Conor Benn, because another X factor is, can Conor Benn take punches at 160? And is Conor Benn more powerful at 160 with the extra weight? Because if he goes up there and his shots are powerful at that speed, big man.
He's calmed down, though. One thing I do like is Conor looks relaxed.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like he's fighting. Yeah, which is brilliant. And that makes him a bit more scarier to me, to be honest. Because now it's like you're in control of all your emotions. Okay. You become more, because before Eubank he's more dangerous now. Like in him having composure makes him, a bit more. You got to be edgy because that thing's there, that explosiveness is there.
100%. And Eubank, he's got his hands full with Conor Benn. Like however we dice it. Like I watched his last fight with Liam Smith, the second one, and if it was that version of him, I'd be really worried. But you see the last one against Zara Meta, I watched it again last night because I was getting it confused with how I was talking about his last fights. And I watched that one. I thought to myself, do you know what? This guy's still dangerous, bro. He still can take a shot. He still throws better combinations. He's just not as wild as he used to be. But for someone who's not a middleweight and it's their first showing at middleweight, Conor's going to have to be above and beyond to get the win over this man.
It's going to have to be amazing. It's going to have to be amazing. Listen, man, people, thank you for watching. We didn't get to talk about Ben Whittaker properly in this episode, but there's other episodes for that. Fight week, get your tickets. Get your tickets. That's all we can say.
That's
Be in the room with us. Experience that.
100%. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Jeez. See you later.
I'm excited.
Let's do another. Yo, people. Thanks for watching the Undefeated podcast. Make sure you
like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and all that good stuff, man. This is the place to be.